Right, welcome guys. Unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, no matter what side of the political spectrum you reside on, it should be unfortunate that someone gets killed for their views. Literally just views. Mad. Charlie Kirk was killed. So he was killed last night, assassinated, as it were. And a DC Comics writer gloated about all of this, kind of went berserk online. Repulsive, vile individual that she is. Or he. Actually, I guess it's a trans thing, so I don't actually know what it is, to be fair. And yeah, the DC has swiftly acted. So good on DC Comics. They've cancelled the individual's run. And I thought we'd take a look at it. Now, just real quick, if you are looking for, sort of like a video on the situation itself, it's not going to appear on this channel. I do have a politics channel that I've just been working on in the background. I've barely mentioned it. I don't think I've mentioned it on this channel once. I've chucked it in the community tab every now and then, I think twice. But if you want to check out my thoughts, I run that channel with Bo from Lotus Eaters. I'll leave the video specifically where we talk about the Charlie assassination down below in the description box. Do go and check it out, and do go subscribe if you want. You don't have to. That content's not going to be for everyone. A lot of people wanted me to get politics off this channel, which I have done, I think, largely, unless it crosses over with, mainstream media, as it were. Not the mainstream media, but mainstream media, be it film, TV, and comics such as this. So do go check it out. It's linked down below. But let's take a look at this situation first, or now anyway. It's shocking. The whole thing's shocking. It's truly shocking what happened. And the response has been just really disgusting, actually. So DC's Red Hood series has now been cancelled after trans writer Gretchen Felker Martin mocked the Charlie Kirk shooting and claimed... And this individual is just a fat, repulsive piece of shit. They also came out and claimed that police weren't people as well. People like this are... They're not. They don't belong in civilized society because they cannot conduct themselves in a civilized way. Dehumanizing people to that degree is truly awful, right? Like, no matter what you believed of Charlie Kirk, the guy was a moderate right winger. Now, some people would say, well, how do you pass that up? Well, he was just a Christian, right? He was just a Christian, and his belief system was, his sort of whole ethos was a Christian ethos. Now, that is actually quite moderate in the grand scheme of things. That is quite moderate. He wasn't calling for mass remigration. He wasn't calling for, everyone to be completely expelled from countries. Like, he wasn't like ethno-nationalism would be a far more radical right-wing stance to take. He wasn't. And not only that, he wasn't extreme in how he expressed his views. And that's actually really important. He was the individual that wanted to chit-chat to people. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to go around beating people up or anything like that. He didn't create roving gangs of Antifa, did he? Such as left-wingers do, generally speaking. So, he was the moderate person. Like, he was a moderate guy. And this individual just came out. And also, as well, it's important to note he was a father. He was a father. And this kind of dehumanizing language, this person doesn't belong in civilized society. Because they're not civil. Right? You want to talk like a barbarian. You should live like a barbarian. Be expelled from society. So DC Comics has cancelled its brand new Red Hood series following a firestorm of outrage against writer Gretchen Felker Martin, a biological male who identifies as female, The cancellation came after Falcon Martin publicly mocked conservative commentator Charlie Kirk after he was assassinated and made inflammatory remarks about law enforcement. So the remarks have obviously sparked outrage. You know, and here's the kind of things that he says, you know, thoughts and prayers, you Yahtzee bitch. Hope the bullet's okay after touching Charlie Kirk. Awful. Like, awful. Lots of people like to draw comparisons between George Floyd and people's reaction to that. Well, one, you haven't seen right-wingers come out and burn cities to the ground, so hold your horses just a little bit there. Addressing the very real historical record of George Floyd being a career criminal that was so vile that he, you know, would pistol whip pregnant people and put guns to their stomachs. Pointing that out is not the same as pointing out that Charlie Kirk had some beliefs that you disagreed with. And that was it. Like, he was just a family man, and he was a very reasonable person. Reasonable so far as he would have a conversation with anyone. That is reasonable, right? Hey, I'll have a conversation. That's very reasonable. I don't think you're going to see conversations from right-wingers anymore. And the individual that was putting olive branches out there is now dead, assassinated. I think you're in... worldwide, this isn't just America. I think this is just in the West. I think you've broached something which you will be very, very apologetic and regretful of. Put it that way. I don't think this was a wise move. Now, again, I'm not going to address who did it or whatever. That's for another day. It's for another video. It's for another channel. But the reaction from left-wingers, they are effectively taking ownership of it, right? Not that left-wingers did it. We actually don't know. There are lots of thoughts and theories out there. I'm not going to broach all of that. But when left-wingers take ownership of it, in their words, saying that, yeah, well done, like all this kind of stuff, which is just awful. It's all over Twitter. It's truly awful stuff. Yeah, you've. I think you may have broken the seal of a pressure cooker that you probably shouldn't have done. Not wise. Really, really not a wise move. But anyway, so this individual just continued. Kept seeing people. You know, and then he turned to police officers, but kept seeing people tweet Red Hood #1 for something. And for the life of me, I could not figure out why until I remembered it opens with a bunch of cops shooting themselves. I just don't really consider them people. What is wrong with society where you are so willing to dehumanize people to that degree? I mean, that's awful. Now, it's all well and good dehumanizing other societies, you know, other cultures that you fundamentally disagree with, that are polar opposite to what Western culture and society should be. That's a philosophical debate for another day. But when you are part of a society, you separating yourself from your fellow man is truly abhorrent. You know, you are part of this culture, you are part of this society, and you're dehumanizing people that are there protecting you. And this fat lump of shit will be one of the first people that will cry to police. Right? It's mental. It's absolutely mad. But anyway, obviously this has gone viral. And comically, and it is comically, and well done DC Comics for this. So the very day that Red Hood #1 launched, DC informed retailers that the series would be discontinued. So issues #2 and 3, along with all future solicitations, were cancelled. So they were just done. They were like, nope. Retailers will also be credited for Red Hood #1, including already sold copies, which is effectively an unprecedented move in modern comics. So when I say well done DC Comics, that is well done. Like, well done you. You took swift action. You've compensated comic stores appropriately, and you've addressed it. That's right. That is the appropriate thing to do. So in a statement reported by Industry Trades, DC explained, whilst we respect the creative viewpoints of our talent, posts or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence are inconsistent with DC standards of conduct. So the cancellation comes less than 24 hours after fans first noticed Falcon Martin's remarks. And this is the fat piece of shit individual. A truly disgusting, reprehensible piece of crap. And there was another statement here. At DC Comics, we place the highest value on our creators and community and affirm the right to peaceful, individual expression of personal viewpoints. Posts or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence are inconsistent with DC standards of conduct. So there you go. That's it. So that's it. Good. I'm glad. This is the appropriate thing to do. And they also said this. DC Comics cancels existing orders for Red Hood number 2 and Red Hood number 3 and any orders for future issues of the series. DC Comics will credit retailers for all invoiced copies of Red Hood number 1, inclusive of copies that may have already been sold. Good. 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 So there you go. Now, some people may view this as promoting cancel culture. I'm just glad that someone has swiftly acted with someone effectively promoting violence, Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's appropriate. There you go. Check out the video link down below if you want. Hit subscribe on that channel if you want. It's called The State of Politics. And there are daily uploads there from myself and Bo from the Lotus Eaters. Anyway. Yeah. Bye-bye now.